Learning objectives. After completing this module, learners will be able to define the term federalism, list out the key features of federalism, record the dual objective of a federal system, describe decentralization of government functioning. What is federalism? The system of division of power of the government between a central authority and various state governments of the country is called federalism. A federation has two levels of government. Central government, the government which is responsible for the entire country in the matters of common national interest. The state governments, the government which is present at the state level and is responsible for the day-to-day administering of the state. There are two systems of government. Unitary system. Unitary system is a system in which all powers are centralized in the hands of central government. A single central government controls the whole state with full power. Federal system. In this system, the power and control is divided between central government and state government. Both are answerable to the people. Today, 25 of the world's 192 countries have federal political systems. Some of these include Australia, Brazil, China, India, the Russian Federation, and Belgium. Key features of federalism. There are two or more levels of government. India has 3 levels. Each level of government has its own jurisdiction in matters of legislation, taxation, and administration, even though they govern the same citizens. Powers and functions of each tier of government is specified and guaranteed by Constitution. The Supreme Court has been given power to settle disputes between federal governments. Fundamental provisions of Constitution cannot be altered by any one level of government. It applies to India also. Sources of revenue between different levels is specified by Constitution. There is mutual trust and agreement between the governments at different levels. The federal system has two aims: to protect and promote unity of the country, to adapt regional diversity. An ideal federal system has both aspects, mutual trust and an agreement to live together. There are two kinds of routes through which federations are formed. The first route, when independent states come together on their own to form a bigger unit to increase their security. This type of federation is called coming together federations. Here all the states are equally powerful and strong. For examples, Switzerland, Australia, and USA. The second route, when a large country decides to distribute its power between the states and the national government, this type of federation is called holding together federations, where all states do not have equal powers. Some states enjoy special powers, and the central government tends to be more powerful than the states. For example, Spain, India, and Belgium. What makes India a federal country? The Constitution has divided power through 3 lists, namely Union List, State List, and Concurrent List. Union List. It has subjects of national importance such as banking, currency, defense of the country, foreign affairs, and communication. State List. It includes subjects of state and local importance such as agriculture, trade, police, irrigation, and commerce. Concurrent List. It contains subjects like education, marriage, trade unions, forests, adoption and succession, which are of common interest of both union and stateless subjects. The subjects that are absent on all the three lists are called residuary powers. Only union government has the power to legislate such subjects. For example, computer software which came up after the Constitution was made, whereas Jammu and Kashmir enjoy a special status having its own constitution. Areas which are too small to become an independent state, like capital city Delhi, Chandigarh, Pondicherry, are called union territories. The central government has special powers in running these areas than states. Such power sharing arrangement cannot be changed easily. To make changes, it has to be first passed by both houses of parliament with at least 2/3 of majority. Then, it has to be rectified by the legislature of at least half of the total state. In case of any conflict between divisions of powers, the judiciary plays a crucial role in supervising the implementation of constitutional provisions and procedures. How is federalism practiced in India? Let us look some of the major ways in which federalism has succeeded in India. Linguistic states. The formation of states on the basis of language was the first and a major test for federal practice in India. The frontiers of several old states of India were modified in order to create new states in order to make sure that people who spoke the same language lived in the same state. Some states were formed not on the basis of language, but to acknowledge differences based on geography or culture ethnicity. Example: Uttarakhand and Nagaland. Language policy. The status of national language is not given to one language by the Indian Constitution. Hindi is recognized as the official language, as it is the mother tongue of only 40% of Indians. Besides Hindi, the Indian Constitution identifies 21 other languages as scheduled languages. The examination conducted for the central government positions allows the candidate to choose any of these languages as the medium of examination. States also have their own official languages, and the government works takes place in the official language of the concerned state. Centre and state relations. Federalism has been strengthened in practice by reconstruction of centre-state relation. The state governments do not exercise their rights as autonomous federal units when the same party rules both centre and most of the states for a long time. Decentralization of government. Decentralization in India is defined as taking away of powers from central and state governments and giving it to local government. The main objective of decentralization. At local level, there are a large number of problems and issues. Local people have better knowledge of problems, better ideas on where to spend money and how to manage things more efficiently. Direct participation of people in decision-making helps to inculcate a habit of democratic participation. Local government is the best method to perform an important principle of democracy called local self-government. Power has been decentralized among three levels, namely state level, district level, village level. In 1992, a major step towards decentralization was taken by making an amendment in the Constitution to make the third level of democracy more powerful and effective. Constitutional Amendments, 1992. According to the Constitution, it is mandatory to hold regular elections to local government bodies. There is reservation of seats in the elected bodies for the scheduled tribes, scheduled castes, and other backward classes. At least 1/3 of all positions are reserved for women. State Election Commission, an independent institution, has been created in each state to manage, control, and supervise panchayat and municipal elections. The state governments have to share some revenue and power with local government bodies, but the nature of sharing differs from state to state. Rural local government. Rural local government is known as Panchayati Raj. The local government is divided into village level, block level, district level, village level. Gram Panchayat is defined as a council consisting of several ward members called Panch and a president or Sarpanch. They elected by the adult population living in that ward or village. The Gram Sabha supervises the work of Panchayat and the voters in the village are its members. The Gram Sabha review the performance and recommends the annual budget of the Gram Panchayat. Block level. A Panchayat Samiti or block or mandal is a local government formed by grouping few Gram Panchayats together to perform functions for the villages of a tehsil or taluka. All the Panchayat members in that area elect the members of this representative body. District level. All the Panchayat Samitis or mandals in a district come together to form the Zilla Parishad or district. Most members of the Zilla Parishad are elected. MLAs of that district, members of the Lok Sabha, and some other officials of other district-level bodies are also its members. Chairperson of the Zilla Parishad is also the political head of the Zilla Parishad. The towns and cities have municipalities. Municipalities and municipal corporation are controlled by elected bodies comprising of people's representatives. Mayor is the political head of a municipal corporation and political head of municipality is the municipal chairperson. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learned. Federalism is a system of government in which the power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units of the country. Different tiers of government govern the same citizens, but each tier has its own jurisdiction in specific matters of legislation, taxation, and administration. Sources of revenue for each level of government are clearly specified for ensuring smooth functioning and financial autonomy. The federal system safeguards and promotes the unity of the country and also accommodates regional diversity. India is a holding together type of federation in which powers are vested in the state governments that function under the overall supervision of the union government. New states were created on linguistic basis for recognizing the linguistic and cultural differences of various parts of the country. The central government in India has the power to dissolve the state government on grounds of inefficiency and impose the president's rule in the state. Before 1990, the central government often misused the constitution to dismiss the state governments that were controlled by rival parties. After 1990, the era of coalition governments at the centre started. The major national parties had to enter into alliances with many regional parties for forming the government. This led to a new culture of power sharing and respect for the autonomy of state governments.